That full-width LED light bar isn't a dealer accessory. It's factory integrated into a bumper that replaced the production unit entirely. And that distinction changes everything about what Chevy is claiming this truck can actually do. By the end of this video, you'll understand why this Silverado Rugged Edition doesn't just put real pressure on the Raptor R and the TRX, it challenges both of them in the specific dimension that actually matters to buyers who work and wheel their trucks hard. There's one control interface decision inside this cabin that I haven't seen executed this cleanly on any production American full-size truck. I'll get there. Is the Rugged Edition premium over a standard Silverado ZR2 actually justified? My answer is more direct than you might expect. We're covering the cabin, the exterior engineering, and the powertrain, and the brief that produced this truck. Word is, it didn't originate inside Chevrolet's standard product development cycle. Here's what matters most, and it's not the black wheels, and it's not the bolted flares. It's the bumper replacement. Most rugged package trucks bolt accessories onto the production bumper. This Silverado replaced the bumper entirely with a purpose-built steel skid unit carrying a full-width LED light bar, dual cube fog lights, and a winch mount integrated into the primary load path. That's a fundamentally different engineering commitment. A bolt-on bumper accessory transfers recovery load through sheet metal attachment points. A replacement bumper transfers recovery load through the frame rail itself. On a truck rated for serious recovery work, that distinction is the difference between a truck that looks capable and one that actually is. Here's my take. This is the first Silverado configuration where the front-end architecture genuinely matches with the buyer profile needs, not what a styling committee approved. Speculative tech number 1, an active light bar management system. The full-width LED array splits into independently controlled segments, with the outboard segments angling 15 degrees based on steering input to eliminate the actual direction of travel. Ford's adaptive headlights steer with the wheel. This applies the same logic to an off-road light bar, illuminating the terrain you're heading into, not just what's directly in front of you. The bumper defines the exterior intent. The cabin reveals the operational philosophy behind it. Step inside, and the first thing that earns genuine respect is the 4WD control interface, a dedicated rotary dial, 2H, 4A, 4H, 4L, positioned on the center console face where your hand naturally rests. No buried menu, no capacitive surface, a physical, illuminated rotary with positive detent clicks for each position. That matters operationally. When you're managing a technical trail section at 8 miles per hour with one hand on the wheel, you don't want to navigate a touchscreen submenu to lock into 4 low. You want a single deliberate twist. This truck gives you that. The steering wheel carries a full-function control cluster on both spokes, media, phone, driver assist, gauge display cycling, with a flat-bottom design that provides additional thigh clearance in the low seating position this truck's suspension height creates. The carbon fiber accent running through the door panel upper cap and the center console surround isn't a premium gesture. Carbon fiber's dimensional stability across temperature cycles means those panels don't expand and contract against their mounting points the way plastic composites do. For anyone who's dealt with interior rattle on a previous Silverado after a hard trail day in summer heat, that material choice is the engineering answer to a real complaint. Speculative tech number 2, an integrated hill descent control preview, building on the HDC function visible on the center stack. Forward-facing cameras read grade angle up to 30 feet ahead and preset the HDC target speed based on calculated descent severity before the front axle tips over the crest. Standard HDC reacts after the descent has begun. Predictive HDC sets the parameters before gravity takes over. For anyone who's crested a blind hill on a trail and felt the truck lunge forward before the system caught up, that half-second window is exactly what this closes. Where I think they've missed the mark, the infotainment screen size relative to the dashboard real estate. The screen is competent and well-positioned, but the available dash width in this generation could accommodate a wider display without compromising the physical control layer below it. At this specification level, the F-150 Raptor's larger landscape display is a genuine ergonomic advantage on longer highway hauls between trail sections. The cabin makes a clear operational argument, but the origin story behind this build The part that explains why the bumper was replaced rather than supplemented, that's what the exterior section finally starts to answer. Here's what I'm hearing. The Rugged Edition brief reportedly came from a joint GM Fleet and Consumer Division task force, specifically targeting buyers who were walking into Ram and Ford dealers because Chevy's ZR2 looked competitive on paper, but didn't arrive from the factory pre-configured for immediate serious use. The bumper replacement, the winch mount, the light bar, those are the factory answers to why do I have to spend $8,000 in aftermarket work the day after I take delivery? Work front to back. That replacement steel bumper sits lower than the production unit, which lowers the approach angle slightly, a trade-off Chevy accepted because the bumper's structural contribution to recovery-rated load capacity was worth more than the marginal approach geometry loss. The full-width LED bar sits behind a protective polycarbonate lens rated for rock impact, not just road debris. The dual cube pods flanking the winch opening are independently aiming, a detail that matters when you're lighting a specific obstacle rather than flooding the general terrain. The bolted fender flares accommodate the wider all-terrain tire package, 35-inch rubber on 18-inch beadlock-capable wheels, without widening the actual track. Crew cab overall length runs approximately 231 inches. Wheelbase sits at 147 inches. Ground clearance with the suspension lift measures approximately 11.2 inches. The rear bumper carries integrated recovery points at a hitch receiver with LED reverse lighting built into the skid section, consistent functional language front to rear. This design holds because every visible modification traces to a specific operational requirement. Nothing here was added for visual effect alone. But a capable exterior architecture still needs the right engine to back it up on extended terrain. Engine, the 6.2-liter EcoTech 3 V8, 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque through a 10-speed. What that torque figure means in practice: on a sustained 8% grade with a loaded bed, the 6.2 doesn't hunt gears, it holds its selection and delivers consistent pull through the range. For anyone who's driven a 5.0-liter F-150 on the same grade, you know exactly what gear hunting sounds and feels like when the engine is working at its limit. This engine isn't at its limit in that scenario. Speculative tech number 3. Terrain adaptive exhaust braking. Using GPS grade data and load sensing from the trailer brake controller, the system pre-engages engine braking calibrated to the calculated descent rate before the driver touches the brake pedal. Standard exhaust braking responds to driver input. This system responds to topographic data. Against the TRX at 702 supercharged horsepower, that peak output is genuinely impressive and nobody disputes it. But the TRX's supercharged engine runs significantly hotter under sustained load, and its fuel consumption on a full trail day is a number that gives serious pause. The Rugged Edition's 6.2 is the more composed tool for all-day terrain use. The engineering case is built. Now the financial case has to hold alongside it. Now here's what I actually think. Completely straightforward. The Fleet Task Force origin explains the entire truck. No styling exercises, no badge engineering, just factory-installed capability that the buyer would otherwise source and install themselves post-delivery. That's a different value proposition than the TRX or Raptor R, and a specific buyer profile will find it more compelling than raw horsepower numbers. Pricing. Expect the Rugged Edition to land between $68,000 and $79,000 depending on configuration. Real-world context: a loaded Ram TRX starts at $82,000 and delivers 282 more horsepower, but arrives without a replacement bumper, without an integrated winch mount, and without a light bar. Getting a TRX to this functional specification through the aftermarket adds $6,000 to $10,000 and voids structural warranties on modified components. A Ford F-150 Raptor R starts at $82,000 with superior desert performance credentials, but the same aftermarket dependency for serious recovery hardware. On depreciation, factory-configured off-road packages with documented structural modifications hold residual value in a way aftermarket builds don't. When you sell this truck in 5 years, the buyer knows exactly what was done and who stands behind it. That accountability is worth real money at trade-in. Here's the call. If you want a truck that's genuinely ready for serious trail and recovery use the day you take delivery without an aftermarket build list, the Rugged Edition is the strongest factory-complete package in this segment at this price point right now. If maximum horsepower is your primary metric, the TRX is the right answer. The Rugged Edition earns its place through operational readiness and structural integrity, not through dyno sheet bragging rights. At the open, I said that light bar and bumper replacement were a factory statement about what this truck could actually do. Having walked the full picture, they're also a statement about what Chevy finally decided to stop leaving to the aftermarket. I genuinely love your perspective on this, especially if you've owned a ZR2 or spec'd out a TRX build and done the aftermarket math yourself. Drop it below. Silverado Rugged Edition versus the Ram TRX. The full head-to-head is next. Subscribe if this kind of analysis is what you're here for. I'll see you in the next one.